Welcome to the National Museum of Emerging Sciences and Innovation. Located in the outskirts of Tokyo, this 7-level beautiful building homes a 360 amphitheater, as well as many exhibitions, both temporary and permanent. I came here for a day and I was barely able to complete 2 floors. As part of the permanent exhibition, they had a section on climate change, featuring 4 parts providing a holistic overview of the situation. It starts with a 4D immersive documentary where the narrator takes us to Fiji and interviews a bunch of the locals who discuss the impact of climate change on their own lives. Then, Zone 2 is all about understanding climate change and its impacts, as well as comparing global temperature trends starting way back during the glacial period. This graph shows the sudden exponential jump, proving climate change is not a hoax. It ties this with the expansion of human activity, and its effects include sea level rise, glacial retreat, forest fire, and biodiversity loss. Even featuring this cool simulation which shows you how much the water is going to rise by 2050 and 2100. Of course, all estimates. It emphasizes that we are at a crossroad, meaning it either gets much worse if we don't do anything, or damage can be to some extent prevented if we change, the sooner we change. Below, it shows the impacts that this has today, as well as if we continue on our current trajectory. They then cleverly showed the CO2 emissions of countries through wooden spheres, which represent tons of emissions per 2.5 million people. First shown as per capita, and then total CO2 emissions of that specific country. Zone 3 looks into our everyday lives and determines the impact we make in the climate. They had a really cool interactive display which lets us see the impact through common scenarios, which makes the problem and impact easier to understand. They also had a cool video to understand certain supply chains and the impact they have on the climate, such as getting a beef patty. Zone 4 is the last zone, and it contains all the information about the future of sustainability and how we can live on this earth continually. As shown, it highlights carbon neutrality, meat alternatives, ethical consumption, renewable energy, and many more methods. Furthermore, this section talks about the examples of things people have done on a daily basis to reduce their impact on the environment and to participate in climate action. This zone concludes with people sharing personal experiences of how they themselves made their lifestyle more sustainable, helping each of us adapt our own method of living in order to make ourselves more sustainable for the future. I really enjoyed this exhibition because it gave really interesting data, as well as helps to rationalize climate change and the impact it has, and really put things into perspective through interactive displays and innovative ways of showing data, as we saw with the water rising and the wooden balls to show the CO2 emissions per capita. And so I 100% recommend, if you're in Tokyo, to go check this museum out. There's so many interesting exhibitions, you'll definitely learn something new. All right, thank you guys. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.